see Smackdown NXT Stand Deliver produce a way better freaking show than when you can do it in your fucking best day on our worst day. NXT Stand Deliver on its worst day is better than any best episode of Friday Night Smackdown, honestly. That's how bad SmackDown's coming. But anyways, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lucas E. Allen 1080 on YouTube and all audio platforms. Lucas E. Allen Show, with your WWE NXT Stand and Deliver 2026 review on, like I said, Lucas E. Allen 1080 on YouTube and all audio platforms. Lucas E. Allen Show. For anything, though, follow me on social media: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Lucas E. Allen 1018. Watching today's podcast on YouTube, hit the like button on today's podcast. Hit the subscribe button if you've done so already. Turn on the bell for post notifications of our upload on this very YouTube channel. And always, feel free to leave a comment on the episode of your NXT Stand Deliver 2026 review, as at least. Watch on Spotify, do the same thing. Leave me a comment, also a 5-star rating, be very nice as well, as say at least. So to start the show, top to bottom, I enjoy the show. Your lowest grade puts SmackDown's best grade to shame. Not even close. Your lowest grade is like a 3-way tie for a B. That is your low grade. And your best grade for SmackDown this past week, not including tonight's episode, it's the 10th of April of 2026. It's a C+. Obviously the third of the SmackDown, obviously, for April. This is a pretty fun PLE, honestly. Top to bottom, like, no bad matches whatsoever, man. I'm actually kind of a fan of Lola Voice more after this match I was going into it. Not so not the biggest fan of her. I think she's world championship material, like some people claim she is. Not really. But she's not, I'm not saying she's a bad pro wrestler, people. I mean, she's just not my cup of tea. Just not my cup of tea whatsoever. Shout out JCJ and Kendall Gray, though. They're freaking great at what they do, for sure. That was probably the best match of this whole show. Probably the best match of the show, so maybe include Miles Moore and Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. And top to bottom, the show is pretty freaking good, honestly. Gotta be quite honest, ladies and gentlemen. I give NXT a lot of shit in the past sometimes. And trust me, I'm going to bring back the review for this week's show of NXT. My god, man, that show fucking sucked. Outside of Blake Monroe and her mixed tag match they had was a freaking very good, big fun mixed tag match, honestly. But still. But starting with, you guessed it, Lola Vice defeats JC Jane and Kendall Gray to start the show to win the NXT Women's Championship. This is a very fun triple threat match here, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a B+. Me, almost, I love JC, and much I love JC to death. JC is fucking phenomenal. She's definitely getting that call up very soon, honestly. I heard her, obviously, she's getting a rematch for the NXT Women's Championship next week on the NXT show. Which I don't like that. She's going to take another L to that anyway, so what's the point of even doing a rematch? Unless she wins back the championship, unless she's going to do that either, but still. And I'm a big fan of Kendall Gray, too. No matter what the freaking fans of Dave Meltzer claim, that she's better this days compared to Mercedes Moné, my girl Mercedes. But that's not Kendall Gray. That's not Kendall Gray. That's definitely on Dave fucking stupid Meltzer, obviously. The dude's a freaking idiot. When he sat there, would immediately act like he wanted to shit over Mercedes. And I don't blame Mercedes. She comes back with a response here, but I don't think she will, honestly. Fuck Dave Meltzer. There's no reason why I don't even report anything wrestling or radio or newsletter or whatever you name it. They're nothing but freaking clickbait, freaking just false news. That's what they are. But Kendall Gray's a great pro wrestler. This is nothing to shit on Kendall Gray for. It's just Dave Meltzer being a fucking idiot as always. But this triple threat match was pretty freaking fun, I gotta be honest. There's a big JC fan, much I love JC, much I like Kendall Gray a lot. Lola Vice is not my biggest fan of, and she won a championship here, but at least she's not like the worst pro wrestler. Do I think she's a tad bit overrated in my opinion? Yes. I do. Might take some flack for it, I don't care. She's just not my cup of tea, people. She really isn't. She's really not my cup of tea. I'm not saying she's a bad pro wrestler per se. She's just not my style when it comes to women's professional wrestling. JC Jane's more my style, bro, and compared to this match, and same with Kendall Gray. JC's just a freaking superstar, man. Just looking at her, honestly, and more and better she gets. This woman is hopefully gets great booking on the main roster, obviously, but she is fucking phenomenal. So the same thing for Kendall Gray too. And these three women put up a very good triple threat match in the NXT Women's Championship to start the show. Gave it a B+, tied for the best career in the whole show. I just sound more than the Miles Bourne and Johnny Gargano match, honestly. Moving on to another solid match on this show. Vanity Project, who I'm not the biggest fans of, honestly, defeat the Los Americanos to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. There's also Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, not Rio or Bravo Americano, they fucking call themselves. It's Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, New Catch Republic. I don't care what anybody says. But this match is pretty freaking good too, honestly. Give it a B. Very fun tag team match, honestly. Not the best tag team match all year, honestly. Compared to most tag team matches on this show, pay-per-views and PLEs and stuff like that, it's a pretty fun tag team match, gotta be quite honest. Give it a B. I would say it's the worst thing on the show, but the thing is, it's not a bad match at all. Just want to show you how good this PLE was from Stand Deliver to say at least. But this gives a B to say at least as well. Nothing else to discuss there, honestly, though. So on Sol Ruka, she defeats Zaria. I also gave this a B. Very fun match, though. I really got this is probably even better than the previous match. I still didn't like the outcome with Sol Ruka beating Zaria already. I'd rather have Zaria get the first win and Sol Ruka get her win back eventually. But then again, Zaria then attacks Sol Ruka on NXT this week on their match with Izzy Dame, which cost Zaria or Sol Ruka the match. Which was just okay, I guess. You would have had rectified Zaria losing the match against Sol Ruka at Stand Deliver, honestly. But I still had Zaria win the match, honestly, at Stand Deliver. And then Sol can get her revenge eventually, and then she could get called up to the main roster, I want to call it. But that's just me, honestly. But this is a pretty fun match, so a pretty good undercard match. Obviously, two women that I actually quite like in NXT Women's Division for sure. They are fucking great as Zaria and Sol Ruka. Sol needs to be called up right now. I know probably NXT wants her to hold the NXT Women's Championship eventually, which I don't blame them, honestly. They need as much depth in that division as possible. But then again, that's their bright spot in their show, is the women's wrestling on the NXT. Everything else is freaking boring. The men's division sucks major ass, dude. I would rather have a triple threat match with JC, Kendall, and Lola Vice main event over the Fatal 4, and still even going into that still, even more going out, obviously. Especially with Tony D'Angelo's reign already starting off freaking very, very ass on Tuesday night. And an 8-man tag or give a flying fuck match with the Can They Coexist, pal? It's Joe Hendry, Ricky Sainz, Ethan Page, and Tony D'Angelo. It's like, who asked for that? What are we doing with that booking, dude? This most of the men's division sucks in NXT. Anyways, well, I got that topic, but still, Sol Ruka and Zaria are freaking great at what to do for women's wrestlers on this brand, to say at least. Give it a B for a match here. Tied for technically the worst grade in the show, but still not bad grade. B is not bad grade, people. This proves how stacked this PLE was for Stand Deliver. Moving on to Miles Bourne, the reigning defending NXT North American Champion. Defeats Johnny Gargano to retain the NXT North American Championship. Tied for the best grade in the show to B+. But I honestly, like I said at the top of the show today, I prefer the triple threat match with JC, Lola, and Kendall over this match, but still, this is a banger, dude. This was freaking fun. The old school Johnny Wrestling Takeover, dude. Old school that Johnny Gargano. Hopefully you can look better on Friday Night Smackdown, Danny N. It's not the greatest for Johnny Wrestling at all, bro. It really ain't. That's all on Triple H, dude. You don't know what the fuck he's doing with Johnny when you have Tommaso champion. You don't know what he's doing with Tommaso either. Triple H is his own freaking delusional freaking self as always. This match is great though. Very fun tag team match. It was a singles match for the NXT North American Championship. Very fun one-on-one match here to say at least. Johnny, I hope to God I see him better like in the United States Championship picture on Friday Night SmackDown. Better booking, obviously, first off. But then again, that's beggars can't be choosers. At least it's a good match here with Johnny Gargano and Miles Bourne. Big Miles Bourne fan. It always helps him. He's a almost I think he's a fiance or boyfriend of Stephanie Becker. With a big top on that one, dude. I'll tell you that right now. Miles Bourne gets all the best in the world. He's a championship right now in WWE and developmental program, and he's dating Stephanie Becker. I mean, how can this man be so great, honestly, with that? Shout out to Miles Bourne. This is a pretty fun one-on-one match here, to say the least. Gave it a B+. The two women I actually really love at NXT. Same thing, obviously, Blake Monroe. I much love her. She's freaking great. Tam Paxley, the reigning defending NXT Women's North American Champion, defeats Blake Monroe. To retain the NXT Women's North American Championship, it also gets a B tie for the three-way tie of the worst grand in the show. But still, B is not that great, like I said, people. I like this match. I like the dive outside the bottom rope. What's not a dive? It was I think Blake was on the ring apron, and she was just to flip it and just power bombs Tam Paxley. That looked freaking brutal, dude. Blake Monroe is freaking amazing, dude. How can anybody hate the talent that Blake Monroe is, the former Mariah May? She is fucking phenomenal. She ain't like normal blondes, dude. Normal blondes like to tend to what's the word I'm thinking of? Not really tend to be I don't want to say divas, but basically don't like to take a lot of big bumps on us. But Blake Monroe is certainly an exception, bro. We've seen it obviously with Toni Storm in the Hollywood Ending match in AEW when she was Mariah May. So Blake obviously can take bumps. She is freaking just brutal, bro. I mean, damn. You don't think she's a blonde, but she is freaking a blonde, and she's freaking gorgeous, obviously. I love Blake Monroe. Gorgeous, talented, and fucking phenomenal what she does. We all love Blake Monroe in this podcast for sure. I also like Mariah May too. I love Mariah May. Mariah May and Blake Monroe. Two glamour gimmicks, obviously. But still. I'm much of a huge fan of Blake. Do I like her booking in recent memory? No, but I didn't mind this loss, honestly. She obviously won on that mixed tag match in NXT. I was thinking it was a free fun match, honestly, but the best thing in the whole show. Not saying much, that show kind of sucked, honestly, but still. Hopefully better than Smackdown tonight, though, I'll tell you that right now. Already started off great with the Jade Cargill and Io Sky main event, obviously. It doesn't seem bad on paper, but still. We'll discuss that sooner rather than later, obviously. Shit down, Smackdown. But this match of Tam Paxley and Blake Monroe, a very fun North American Championship match here, honestly. Love Blake, much I love Blake, and I like Tam Paxley a lot too. I think she's the most improved wrestler in all 2025. Male or female in all wrestling. She is freaking good too. Love the character too she possesses. And Blake, much I love Blake, but you can never make me complain about a Blake Monroe match like this. She is freaking phenomenal. Just don't have her lose to Thea Hale again, obviously. There's Shawn Michaels. Yeah. Not a fan of that at all. But still. She's not feuding with Jada Parker or Thea Hale anymore. Thank God. Thank you. Wrestling God himself. No, not JBL. You get the point, people. But this match is a pretty fun North American Championship in female wrestling sales or women's wrestling sales. This gets a B. Shout out to Blake. I love her gear, by the way. How can this woman, does she ever have a bad gear, bro? Does she ever have a terrible gear? The answer is 1000% absolutely fuck no. Just drop dead gorgeous as Blake Monroe, dude. You never make me complain about that woman whatsoever. Fucking phenomenal talent to say the least. But that match gets a B in all honesty. Moving on, Tony D'Angelo, the main event. Defeats Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page to win the NXT Championship in the main event. This gets a B to say the least. A good fatal four-way. I still would have rather main event with Lola Vice, JC Jane, and Kendall Gray for the NXT Women's Championship. It's carrying his whole brand as his back all year. There's this women's wrestling on the show. Alright, JC Jane, Blake Monroe, Tam Paxley, even Lola Vice to a point, your credit there, and Kendall Gray is great. Ruka, Zaria. The list goes on how stacked this division still is, even losing Stephanie Becker earlier, your previous teammate with Julia and Roxanne Perez. This brand is continuing to just like puts out great female wrestling talent on the show. So I think they deserve to main event Stand Deliver. Don't you think of your dog shit men's division there, Shawn Michaels? I don't know that was the decision going into that without either. And I like that. At least Tony D'Angelo wins the NXT Championship. I can't complain about that to a point. But I mean, I don't think Tony D is he's a great pro wrestler. I don't really care for like gimmicky possession as the Don, even before now, obviously. His a Don gimmick, yeah, not even now, honestly. I don't care for his gimmick now either. He's a very good pro wrestler, if you ask me, obviously. But then we get the promo on NXT, the celebration of Tony D'Angelo winning the NXT Championship. That shit was fucking garbage. I mean, the Dark Stay and the Coexist story, what an 8-man tag and a flying fuck match. Dear God, man, how freaking awful can that be? I'm about to freaking review that, just something I ran about that. Oh my God, man, just freaking awful show that was in NXT. Minus the Blake Monroe mixed tag match with Tam Paxley. That match is pretty good if you ask me. The whole show times 1,000, obviously. But this match, this Fatal 4 gets a B. Tied for the worst grade until the second, but still not a bad match. B is not a very, I've been saying this a billion different times in this podcast, obviously. Very fun Fatal 4, I would think, obviously. I'm going to say fun, but it was very good. It was good, honestly. Tony D'Angelo wins the NXT Championship. Probably Joe Hendry getting called up to the main roster, I think. I definitely see Ethan Page getting called up to the main roster sooner or after after WrestleMania season, to say the least. But then again, like, what are you going to do with this men's division? It's so dog shit as it is right now. I don't know, man. Yeah, make it think of something. Maybe sign some free agents. But then again, we gotta have Royce Keys on this brand, and then he's just making his SmackDown debut on this tonight, to say the least. Probably making my recording at 8:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to say the least. They're headed with SmackDown. He probably made his debut on SmackDown, but still. It's ridiculous how this man cannot be in NXT dominating the shit out of this men's division. This god-awful men's division in NXT. Why does he have to push this man all the way up to the main roster? Makes no sense. But yeah, we gotta have Blake Monroe in NXT. If she wanted to go there, obviously, that's her thing. That's great for her. I want to see a chance to say that more often. But still, that's just a hard crap I gotta say about that. And yeah, Stephanie Vaquera started NXT. Then again, she wanted to do a better promo, so you get the point, honestly. But Royce Keys could definitely dominate the hell out of this brand right now. As maybe an NXT minimum North American champion. He can mostly beat Oba Femi's record as North American champion, honestly. Maybe not, but still, you get the point, honestly. You get the point, obviously. But this men's division just still sucks. And we saw this past Tuesday night after this Tony D'Angelo winning the NXT Championship. It's a fun Fatal 4 for the most part. Kind of a car crash, as you can tell by the main events of PLEs and stuff. Whereas to be AEW, NXT, you get the point. Chaos and all supreme. Whether it's good or bad, you gotta behold her, honestly. This is a good Fatal 4, don't get me wrong. This wasn't like the best thing. To me, that's probably the worst. I'm not saying the worst match. Probably go with Vanity Project and Los Garzas. Or Los Garzas. Los Americanos, whatever, dude. You get the point. And this is a good Fatal 4. I don't know about Tony D'Angelo winning the NXT Championship at Stand Deliver. You could have had to start the show, main event with Lola Vice, JCJ, and Kendall Gray. The best thing going to probably your show, honestly. I mean, I think the best two is honestly Tam Paxley and Blake Monroe. I really do. Going into the show. But still, that's just me to say at least. But still, a very good Fatal 4, I would think, honestly. It's just a very questionable decision having Tony D'Angelo win the NXT Championship. I'm a big fan of Tony D. Don't get me wrong. But to him to win the NXT Championship in a Fatal 4 is kind of just a bizarre decision, if you ask me. But that's just me. This man is so great of a beat. And by the way, before I end today's podcast, I will be doing NXT Stand Deliver star ratings, honestly, tomorrow. But I think I'll do that. Hopefully. Knock on wood. Hopefully I can do that, obviously. I want to be doing NXT Stand Deliver star ratings, but I want to do a review first to say at least. Obviously, Stand Deliver, your overall show for NXT Stand Deliver 2026 is a B. A very fun pre-LE from NXT Stand Deliver, if you ask me. NXT, Shawn Michaels and company there to say at least. That is your NXT Stand Deliver 2026 review on this podcast. And thank y'all for watching. Look to see Alan 1080 on YouTube and all audio platforms. Look to see Alan Show. Or your NXT Stand Deliver 2026 review on today's podcast. And today being your Friday, April 10th of 2026. I apologize. This show took place on Friday, April 4th of 2026. Apologize for this review out so late, obviously. And again, it's not a week after. It's just less than a week after, we get the point. But still, I'm very enjoying the Stand Deliver to say at least. And hope y'all enjoy this podcast too, obviously. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, you've done so already. Turn the bell off for post notifications up on this very YouTube channel. And always, like I said, feel free to leave a comment on Spotify and YouTube, and also Spotify and the 5-star rating. Watch on audio platforms to say at least. And until next time, and trust me, definitely be next time, everybody. Hopefully tomorrow. Knock on wood. More content on both main YouTube channel, Lucas Leon 1018, and all other platforms, Lucas Leon Show, and same thing, Lucas Leon on YouTube as well for a second channel of sports, podcasts, and sales. Until next time, and trust me, definitely be next time, everybody. Peace, everybody. I'm out here. Love y'all big time, to say at least.